Please, you may get seated. Thank you very much. Honorable Ambassador Liberata Mulamula, Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Your Excellency Sheikh Shahboud bin Nahyan Al Nahyan, Minister for State, United Arab Emirates, Honorable Ministers and the Permanent Secretaries here present, Your Excellency Ambassador Fatma Rajab, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Your Excellency Khalid Al-Rashdi, Director of Africa Affairs Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the United Arab Emirates, Your Excellency Ambassador Hamed Muganza, Director of Middle East Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Your Excellency Muhammadu Abdallah Mutonga, Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania in the United Arab Emirates, senior government officials of both countries here present, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow journalists, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Ministers, allow me to welcome you all on this second session of the Joint Permanent Committee of the cooperation between our two countries. Again, Honorable Minister, on your behalf, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome His Excellency and your distinguished delegation to Tanzania. Karibu sana. And now the exercise which will follow now is to sign the initial agreed minutes which have been signed by our senior officials. So please, for those who are responsible to bring those documents, thank you. And now they will exchange the documents. A round of applause, please, when they're exchanging their documents. And now they are showing to the journalists for a good photo. Thank you, Your Excellencies. You may now see. Thank you very much for that exercise of signing the documents which have been provided in you. And then now, Honorable Minister, Ambassador Mulamula, may I take this opportunity to invite you to deliver your remarks. And before you come, please, allow me to welcome the Deputy Permanent Secretary to welcome you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Sheikh Shahboud bin Nahyan Al Nahyan, Minister of State of the United Arab Emirates, Honorable Ambassador Liberata Mulamula, Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania, honorable ministers and permanent secretaries here present, Your Excellency Khalid Al-Rashdi, Director of African Affairs Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the United Arab Emirates, Your Excellency Ambassador Hamed Mgaza, Director of Middle East Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency Khalifa Al-Marzouk, Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency Mohammed Abdullah Mtonga, Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania to the United Arab Emirates, senior government officials of both countries present, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Habari za mchana. Honorable ministers, distinguished permanent secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, allow me to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to the government and people of the United Arab Emirates for agreeing and setting time to attend this auspicious second meeting of the Joint Committee for Cooperation, which was held today on the 13th April 2022 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I wish to welcome you in this beautiful city of Dar es Salaam. The Joint Committee meeting was preceded by the Technical Committee meeting between the two countries, which was held virtually from 6th to 7th April 2022. On behalf of my colleague, His Excellency Mr. Khalid Al-Rashdi, Director of African Affairs Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of United Arab Emirates, I wish to inform you that the meeting was held in a spirit of mutual understanding and cooperation, reflecting the close bond of friendship and cordial relations existing between the two countries and the desire to take our relation to another height. Excellency, Honorable Minister, distinguished permanent secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, the Joint Committee for Cooperation meeting we are concluding today had offered an opportunity to gauge the pace for the implementation of what was agreed in the first JCC meeting held in December 2016. During this meeting, the two parties have noted the partial implementation of the agreed decisions and directives and strategized on the best mechanism to implement them. Honorable Ministers, Your Excellency, I wish to inform you that in the course of our discussion, we have further agreed to strengthen the foster cooperation in the following areas. 1. Cooperation between the foreign ministers on bilateral and multilateral issues, international cooperation in humanitarian and development assistance, cooperation in defense and security, cooperation in economic and chamber of commerce, cooperation in energy and mineral sectors, cooperation in communication sector, cooperation in the field of infrastructure, transportation, ports and maritime transport, and cooperation in the financial field. Honorable Minister, Your Excellency, distinguished permanent secretaries, we wish to inform that agreements and memoranda of understanding, of which discussions are ongoing, will be signed in the near future after conclusion of the internal procedures of both parties. These include agreement on cooperation and mutual assistance in customs matters, agreement on extradition of criminals and offenders, agreement on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters, agreement on legal and judicial assistance in civil and commerce matters, agreement on education, science, and technical cooperation, memorandum of understanding in the field of manpower, and memorandum of understanding in security and counter-terrorism issues. In this context, I also wish to inform this joint committee that on behalf of our delegations, myself and my co-chair, we have agreed to finalize the negotiation of the agreement on avoidance of double taxation and prevention of fiscal evasion on income tax, and agreement on promotion and protection of investment. These two agreements are with utmost importance to strengthen further our socio-economic cooperation and development of our two countries and people. We hope these agreements will spearhead and hence become the catalyst to promote more investment from the United Arab Emirates in Tanzania. Honorable Ministers, Your Excellency, distinguished permanent secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks on the deliberation of the Second Joint Committee for Cooperation, allow me to reiterate my appreciation to the senior officials from both countries for the excellent work that has been done. Finally, with your permission, Honorable Minister, allow me to welcome you to watch a short video clip that shows excellent historical relations and cooperation existing between our two sisterly countries. The video clip reflects the journey that our countries have undergone from the first Joint Committee for Cooperation, which was held on 20th December 2016 in Abu Dhabi, and enhanced bilateral relations, which are evident through exchange of visits by the high-level delegations. I thank you all for your kind attention. Shukran jazila, asanteni sana. Director Mulamula, for her few remarks. Your Honorable Minister, you are most welcome. We were debating with His Excellency whether I should come here or I address from there. So I assured His Excellency that I want to be seen and heard, but this is for the media, because I know you have your gadgets here. Although sometimes, Your Excellency, it doesn't make much difference whether I stand or I sit. Your Excellency, Sheikh Shakbut bin Nahyan Al-Nahyan, Minister of State of the United Arab Emirates, I recognize the presence of our honorable ministers from Zanzibar. I recognize the permanent secretaries here present. I see my colleagues from the Foreign Affairs Ministry, including our Ambassador, His Excellency Abdallah Mtonga, Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania in the United Arab Emirates. I wish to recognize the presence of Your Excellency Harid Al-Shad, Director of African Affairs Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the United Arab Emirates. You have been meeting and co-chaired leadership with Her Excellency Ambassador Fatuma Rajab, our Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation. I wish also to recognize, I always call him one of our own, His Excellency Khalifa Al-Mazruk, Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to the United Republic of Tanzania. I recognize the presence of the members of the private sector and chambers of commerce in Tanzania, and of course, our dear members of the press, my dear sisters and brothers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, Salim, for my Tanzania fellows, naomba niwasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Your Excellency, this is a greeting in the name of the United Republic of Tanzania, and we say work continues. On behalf of the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency, I wish to welcome you and to welcome all the members of your delegation and my colleagues from the United Republic of Tanzania to this meeting. This is the second session of the Joint Permanent Committee. I'm not sure whether we call it committee or commission. The lawyers will help us, but I love the commission between the United Republic of Tanzania and the United Arab Emirates, and I'm emphasizing the united part. I also, Excellency, bring to you warm greetings from Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, who has given us full support to convene this long-awaited session of the Joint Permanent Committee. I wish to thank the government of the United Arab Emirates, and in particular, Your Highness Sheikh Shakbut, for honoring our invitation to attend this session in person. We are delighted to see you here with your esteemed delegation. Your Excellency, in a very special way, let me once again welcome you
You are no stranger to this country, but welcome again. And we, as the United Republic of Tanzania and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are honored to host you and your delegation on this occasion. And as we always say, karibu, karibu sana. This is your second home. Feel at home, away from home. As we are in the holy month of Ramadan, I wish you and your delegation warm and bright spirit during this holy month. Let the divinity of Ramadan bring you joy and peace. And to you all, I wish to say, Ramadan Mubarak. Your Excellencies, allow me, in the same vein, to express Her Excellency President Samia's appreciation for hosting us so well and graciously during a very successful and historical visit to the United Arab Emirates from the 24th to 27th of this month, on February. Personally, I was not privileged to accompany her, but the whole world witnessed the warm hospitality and the attention accorded to Her Excellency and Tanzanian Pavilion. We congratulate you on a very well-coordinated and vibrant Expo Dubai 2020, and for allowing the United Republic of Tanzania to be part of the colorful, well-attended, and memorable Dubai Expo 2020. So it's no coincidence that this meeting comes a month and 2 months after that memorable visit. During that visit, Her Excellency President Samia committed to see the convening of this meeting. After signing 37 memorandum of understanding, she directed us that we need to get moving. The directive after the visit were, 1, the importance of strengthening our bilateral relations, but to translate this friendship and cooperation into concrete programs and projects that are mutually beneficial. The presence of the government, ministers, senior officials, experts, is a demonstration that this joint permanent commission provides yet another opportunity for our two countries to put into action what was agreed during the visit. It is therefore satisfying to me and my delegation that we have been able to work on the directives of our superiors for our mutual interests, for the mutual interests of our two countries. We want to thank our experts who have worked so diligently. They started with the virtual meetings from the 6th to 7th of April. Their outstanding work before us has enabled us to gather here today. So, Your Excellency, I want to thank both teams for the job well done. The session gives us another important platform to consolidate our bilateral cooperation and provides us strategic direction to our relations and to think together and thus shape our national development plans accordingly. This session has helped us to strengthen our cooperation on trade, health, energy, water, justice, immigration, culture, transport, science and technology, defense and security, agriculture, tourism, minerals, education. I can go on and on. And as I said, our collaboration touches on all key sectors. And we are really determined to really transform our relationship to another level. Strengthening our economic ties and investment is fundamental for both our countries, as this will help us eradicate poverty, unemployment, and development. Tanzania appreciates the growing investment from UAE to Tanzania, both public and private sector. The sectors are very optimistic that if we were to implement fully of what has been agreed upon, we definitely build our economies and create job opportunities for our people. Your Excellency, we just heard and we have just signed the agreed minutes in a corporate way because we didn't have to read every line, every paragraph, every comma, every full stop, because we all agreed we need to move on. I'm also happy that we'll be signing the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation and Assistance in Custom Matters that has been signed and will provide us a good framework of cooperation in that area. Excellency, we should be mindful that successful implementation of the areas of cooperation will definitely contribute to the socio-economic development of our two countries. We have no choice than to commit ourselves in implementing these areas to meet the intended objectives and goals. As we conclude, once again, I'm so happy that we are meeting without the masks. We can see our smiles, we can see our faces. We have been through a very difficult period, the COVID pandemic, but no one can deny that it has shrunk our economies and has affected both of our countries. But we can all celebrate that we are seeing that soon we will be in the post-COVID period, inshallah. We need to continue working together in order to reach the destination we all aspire. As Our Excellency Prince Samia Suluhu Hassan stated, if we go together, we go far. Let me conclude once again by welcoming you and your esteemed delegation, and to thank all my colleagues, the ministers, permanent secretaries, senior officials, members of the private sector, and our media for joining us today. Karibuni sana, Ramadan Karim. For the press, I'll give the Swahili later. Thank you. Your Excellency, bear with us. This is our tradition. We always invite to speak. So let me use this opportunity to invite you. We are all anxious to hear from you, but we are so grateful that you came in person so as to have this meeting. And I've been told that the United Arab Emirates is a country of few words, but I know you are ready to say. Karibu sana, please.
I hope the press won't mind moving a bit of their equipment. I think it's good. Thank you. Your Excellency, my dear sister, Liberata Mola Mola, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania, esteemed ministers, esteemed Tanzanian delegation and the UAE delegation, Karibu Sana. It has been an honor and privilege to be hosted by you today at my second home for the second round of the UAE-Tanzania Joint Committee. On behalf of my government, I have the honor to pay tribute for the 100th anniversary of the late President Nyerere, who remains to be an inspiration for us all. I would like to convey my sincere appreciation to all involved in these meetings for their tireless efforts in ensuring the execution of another productive joint committee meeting. I have no doubt that this discussion undertaken as part of this meeting will serve to ensure the continued growth of the UAE-Tanzania bilateral relationship. Your Excellency, given the recent conclusion of Expo Dubai 2020, I would like to take this opportunity to commend Tanzania for their significant contributions to the success of Expo. Tanzania's pavilion not only highlighted your country's beauty and diversity, but also reflected the determination of Tanzania to chart a brighter future. On behalf of the government of the UAE, I would like to express our deep gratitude to the Tanzanian government for its unwavering support for Expo 2020. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, since the convening of our first joint committee meeting in 2016, bilateral ties between the UAE and Tanzania have continued to flourish. Nowhere it is more apparent than in our economic and trade relationship. Despite the disruptions brought by the COVID-19 pandemic and the great opportunities it had, our non-oil bilateral trade has remained resilient and reactive, reaching over $1.6 billion in 2020. As the UAE continues its economic diversification efforts, we look to Tanzania as a crucial partner on this journey, as discussed between our two sides during the preparatory subcommittee meetings concluded last week, Your Excellency. We hope to expand our cooperation in the future with a particular focus on energy, food, agriculture, healthcare, infrastructure, humanitarian and development projects, defense and security, transportation, logistics, and financial. And I echo Your Excellency when you said the list goes on. This only reflects the interest and the keenness the UAE has in exploring new avenues to enhance our bilateral relationship, which will add value to our both countries, but also in the wider region. Of course, to advance cooperation in these fields, we must redouble our efforts to put in place the necessary institutional, regulatory, and legislative building blocks required to enhance our trade and economic partnership. In this regard, I would like to underline the importance of finalizing key agreements, including the Investment Protection and Promotion Investment Protection and Promotion Agreement and the Avoidance of Double Taxation Agreement. In addition to finalizing these agreements, I would like to shed light on the importance of updating, modernizing, and ratifying the air service agreement signed between our two countries in 2013. The UAE's view, taking positive steps on such an agreement would be vital in ensuring mutually beneficial connectivity between Tanzania and the UAE and the broader African and Middle Eastern region. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, beyond economics and trade, I would like to reaffirm the close political and diplomatic ties shared between both countries. It is clear that both the UAE and Tanzania hold a firm desire to promote stability, prosperity within our respective regions and globally. In our quest to achieve these goals, it is vital that we expand our coordination within multilateral organizations and international institutions. And in this respect, I would like to thank the government of Tanzania for supporting the candidacy of the UAE for the Council of International Civil Aviation Organization for the period of 2022 and 2025, and the International Telecommunication Union Council for the period of 2023 and 2026. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot conclude without expressing my deepest thanks and gratitude to Her Excellency the President for her continued support and encouragement that she gives us in promoting this relationship and working on it and deepening and strengthening this relationship we have between our both brotherly countries. And I would also like to say that this is a great honor to co-chair this event with you, Your Excellency, and I am grateful for the hard work that has been undertaken by both sides to broaden and deepen our bilateral partnership. Asante sana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. I think they deserve more round of applause, please. Thank you. Your Excellencies, as we are approaching the end of this second meeting of the General Committee for Cooperation between the United Republic of Tanzania and the United Arab Emirates, we have remained with only 2 units in our program. And now, as you have performed a very well job, please, may I welcome you down there so that you can exchange gifts. Please, for those who are responsible, yes, thank you. So may I ask our principals now. Okay. They're more comfortable when they remain at the high table.
So Your Excellency, as the ambassador was saying, one of the KPI is to get to the mountain. Kilimanjaro next time.
To the mountain or off the mountain?
It's been there. We want you there.
A round of applause, please, when they're taking their gifts. Thank you. And the last session, which remains, is a group photo. And now, please, our officers will lead us out there so we can take a group photo. So please. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. A round of applause again. Thank you very much, our principals. Now we can proceed to the group photo, please, out there. I will show you. Please. Yes.